Good morning, afternoon or evening, and welcome back to Marginal Gains. Now, with this video being recorded just after the People's Vote March in London, we're getting topical, if not a little political. Now, if you're confused, let me explain. If you've watched any hotkeys videos, then you'll be aware of control groups. However, you may not be aware of just how useful they can be. So, in the words of many people's favourite loathsome xenophobe,
take back control.
Now, before we get on to the details of which strategies are aided by control groups, let's first make sure that we're all on the same page. So first up, what is a control group? Well, it's a way of giving a unit or a structure, or a group of any of these, a hotkey that you can then simply select by pressing that number on the keyboard. Therefore, control group 1 is assigned by selecting what you want to go in control group 1. In this case, we're going to pick the Civic Centre, and then pressing control 1. And that now means that the little icon on the left hand side shows the control group has been set up. Now if I click select these women, they will be selected, but if I press 1, bang, we're back to the Civic Centre. So now we know how to do it. What are the main uses for this function? Now my personal favourite is actually to use it for the different buildings that you might want to train troops from. So as you can see, my control group 2 is set up to be a group of 3 barracks. They're all the way over here. I can now just by pressing 2 again, I'll select those, get them to build a load of skirmishers, which I can then set the muster point to here. I might want to press 4, which is my military colony over here, to get some wood choppers going. I may also want to collect or select my fortress, which is number 3, and produce some catapults. No, let's produce some elephants. And the best thing is that you don't actually have to have them on screen. So if I press 1, that's my Civic Centre. I'm going to produce my hero. I can even set my muster point to produce him and get him to go over there. And all of that was done very, very quickly, much more effectively than if I had to click on this one, select these 3, then go all the way over here to do that. As you can imagine, much, much better. Now following on from that, another building that I always like to have on the hotkeys is the market. So you can see I've got it here as hotkey 7, and the reason I like it is because it allows you to do trading very, very easily, and that can become incredibly important, particularly later in the game. When you need to get some wood or something, you can't be running around looking for your market to just trade your excess food away. Now, another use that I have is particularly around resource collectors. So you can see here I have got 2 groups of people that look basically exactly the same. They're all pikemen, and the issue is that if one of these resources were to expire before the other one, I'll have a load of people stood around, but they'll be stood around very, very close to the other ones. Or even worse, I find that I'm massively overstocked with stone. I want to take the people off stone, but again it's very difficult to get between them. So have one set up in one control group, which you can see here. Control group 6 is the metal collectors, and control group 5 is the stone collectors. So if I've got too much stone, I can send these guys over there to just deposit their stone, and then pop them off to go and get some wood or whatever it is that I need from them. Now another really excellent use that I really, really like is to have house builders. Now, as you can see, I'm approaching my population capacity here at the moment. So what I don't want to have to do though is to take a large group of troops, like to say, oh, there's like 19 of them here, and I'm going to go and take those off to build a house, which I mean I've just done there, but I wouldn't like to do that in the game. What I would actually do is I'll set up a small group of 4 swordsmen, and those are going to be my house builders. So whenever I need a new house, I can just send those 4 troops off while the rest of the guys just carry on chopping wood, and that's so much more efficient than it would be to do it the other way. Now my final example of a control group use is going to be with raiding cavalry. Now one of the things with these is that you quite often what you want them to do is run in, do some damage and run out. And while you're trying to run out, quite often, as I'm going to show here, the ones at the back can get kind of a bit stuck. They take a little bit longer to run, and that means that they can be killed while the others are escaping. So what you can do, and I've done here, is set them up as separate control groups. So let's go and see if I can then use those separate control groups to run them off in different directions after my attack, and hopefully I won't lose any of them. So wish me luck. In come the attack. Okay, pretty decent so far. Okay, we've got one of the control groups now. We're starting to get involved. One of the control groups runs off in that direction. one in the other direction, and as you can see, both of these groups should now escape. You just saw that one of them died, but you know, such is life, or death in fact. And that brings the video to a close. Thanks for watching my little overview of control groups, and if you've got any other uses for them, then please just leave them in the comments, and hopefully some people can learn some more. In other news, just to let you know, I may well be producing videos a little bit less frequently in the coming weeks and months as I'm about to become a father. So if you want to stay abreast of when new videos are coming, then if you hit subscribe, and if you also click the little bell, then you'll get notifications. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Adios.